Hello, hello, Numa282 here, and welcome back to the ever-growing world of my Digimon headcanons and what-ifs. Today's video will be another dive into the universe of Power Rangers. That's right, we're turning in our Zeo Crystals for, I don't know, cars? What if the Turbo Rangers got their very own Digimon partners? Some notes and ground rules first. I will be covering all the team members that were considered Turbo Rangers. I am still planning for this to be an overarching series, so In Space and Onward are still upcoming as well. I did see your comments, and the Alien Ranger team is in the works as well, but it will be a slightly shorter video because there was only 10 episodes. You don't get full-blown lines when you only existed for 10 episodes, sorry. Even the lines I've created are probably too long for such a short-lived series, but anyways, I digress. Also, this is a video of my opinions. I understand that you aren't all going to agree with me or each other, so let's all try and be nice and civil in the comments. Another thing too, I do love the suggestions you guys give. There's a couple that are in the works from suggestions you guys have given us. Obviously you guys know the Sonic Adventure video was an idea that was pulled as well. But please try to, if you're going to give a suggestion, please try to drop only one comment with it in one place. Don't spam all my videos or my updates and stuff with it. Just one comment for one idea per person, not one idea per person, but you get my drift. You get it. If not, message me. I'll fill you in. Another thing that this is also not a video about the actors playing these characters. Any real life problems or tragedies are not going to be discussed in this video. This is meant to be a pure fluff piece on Digimon and Power Rangers, nothing more. So, lighthearted for the most part. I am continuing to try my hand at creating special moves for each of the recolors. If that's something you guys like, let me know. If not, also let me know. If you'd rather I give, you'd rather I make up random mini bios, then just let me know. Let me know what you guys prefer. Also, you may have noticed my camera moved there. I am working with a new camera that my boyfriend bought me for Christmas. I've actually had to re-record this because it was too fancy before, but it's higher quality, it should look better, and it's got tracking, which is kind of cool. Not that I'm gonna use it to its full extent, but I do move around a lot. It's nice, Sorry. Lastly, this is not a crust video. I'll be doing adventure era lines without designing and assigning crusts, as there are plenty of other things I have to contend with here. And for the most part in videos like these, I try to find an alternate power source. Anyways though, let's recap what happened at the end of my Zeo timeline. Due to the continued growth of power in the Zeo crystals, Zordon insists that the Rangers find a new source of power as the Zeo powers become more and more unstable. This leads him to design a new power source for the team, letting them become the Turbo Power Rangers. With new vehicle-themed suits, our heroes are ready to take on Divatox and her minions. That being said, however, with new powers comes new morphers. Out with the Zeonizers, and in with the Turbo Morphers. But as we all know, I will have to make some edits here. But first, let's talk about Tommy. Tommy was our fearless leader and the Red Zeo Ranger. But when the Zeo powers become too unstable, he's forced to give up his Digimorpher. Without these powers, the Red Zeo Ranger is no more. Zordon comes to the rescue, however, granting him the Red Turbo Digimorpher. This newest feat of technology was a deliberate choice on my part. Not only is it the Season 3 Digivice picked for the third Power Ranger series, but it is also a device that uses a secondary component. Like the Turbo Morpher using a key to activate, the D-Arc allowed a card to be swiped to power up the Digimon, but more on that in a bit. Anyways, the Red Turbo Digimorpher allows Tommy to become the Red Turbo Power Ranger. But now for the meat of this video. This time around, the team was not horribly defeated by their enemies in the finale. They chose to give up their powers for the safety of the morphing grid, so, like Jason before him, Tommy's partner Zeomon is here to stay. His recolor of Dracomon is a killer mon that needs no edits this time around. But his old evolution line is scrapped in favor of a new and faster option. For Turbo Evo lines, I wanted to implement a rule for my picks, so for the most part, any new lines will have to include a mon that is rideable in some form, usually mechanical but not always, and wanted them to be vehicle-ish. Since this is a vehicle-based season, it just made the most sense to me. That is why Zeomon will Digivolve to Machmon. No recoloring was needed for our first Evo. This cool motorcycle mon is the perfect pick for Tommy, where both his edgier side and coolness is in full effect. Also, I guess Tommy's into racing now. Like, that's just a thing they drop randomly this season to go with the car theme, but whatever. Yeah. Now, I may not have made crests, but I do have something up my sleeve. Tommy's Digimorpher has a key ability that is yet to be used. Zordon lets the Ranger know that hidden in special bunkers around Angel Grove are turbo key cards that will help the Power Rangers and their Digimon reach their fullest potential. This is obviously meant to be an homage to the Digimon cards in Tamers. So Tommy will in turn eventually find the red turbo key card. With a swipe of the card, Machmon can now Digivolve to Speedmon. Continuing my theme of edgy and cool mons, this recolor of Rebellymon shows off just how tough Tommy can be. Be wary of his special attack, Lightning Blade, as he will use the Saw Blade charged with electricity to zap and slash at his opponents. One more stop on this ride though, as Speedmon digivolves to Nezhamon. This super cool newer mon, whose name I probably just butchered, was such a cool design, and I had to use him. He had the tires on his legs, like, it's just, he's cool, okay? I really like him, and I think he works decently well as a almost purified evolution of Rebellymon. But I digress. We are just getting started. So, Zeomon will now digivolve to Machmon, then Speedmon, and then Nezhamon. We are, as I said already, just getting started. Adam is up to bat. Our common collected martial artist is sure to have an interesting time as a Turbo Ranger, because the Zeo powers are gone for him too. What does the green Zeo Ranger have without his Zeo Digimorpher? Well, a green Turbo Digimorpher. This will of course allow him to become the Green Turbo Ranger. I already have kind of shit on this season a little bit, and I will shit on it in the future, but Turbo's weirdly one of my favorite seasons. I'll get into the meat of why in a little bit, but I also love the designs. I think they did the best they could with what they had to work with. They chose a parody season of Super Sentai to bring over Car Ranger. If I'm remembering correctly, was literally supposed to be like a joke season. And you can kind of see it in the way that they act, like in like battles, but anyways, I digress. But yeah, similar to Tommy, no color change is necessary for Adam either. But now, let's look at his partner. Kamemon stays as is due to the voluntary loss of power, but things become a bit different with our new set of powers, as Kamemon digivolves to Marinermon. This recolor of one of my favorite mons, Submarimon, continues Adam's original theme of aquatic mons while keeping our turbo theme of vehicle-like mons. I know I use mons a lot as a short term for Digimon. If that ever pisses you guys off, let me know. Like, I'll change that. No, I won't. His special attack sees him firing the harpoon on his nose, quaking with thunderous energy in a move he calls Thunder Torpedo. Of course, we have a new power source to contend with, though, since Adam's Turbo Digimorpher has untapped potential. Tapped it will become, though, when Adam finds the green Turbo key card. With key card in hand, Marinermon will digivolve to Wavemon, another recolor, this time of the drastically underutilized Surfymon. Allows me to envision a mon that can use their board to surf waves of water, snow, and sand. Side note, it's New Year's Eve as I'm recording this, and people are popping off fireworks, which is stupid. It's 10:30 p.m. We have hours, but I digress. Anyways, his special move, Thunder Crash, sees him slashing his enemy with his chainsaw surfboard. Wavemon will take on one more form, though, as he digivolves to Tsunamimon. A sacrilegious recolor, for me at least, turning the pink Amphibimon, or Amphimon, I don't remember which one it is, into a green variant. I imagine Adam being able to hop into the deep sea diver suit of Tsunamimon, controlling it like a mech or small Zord. Tsunamimon's special attack is called Thunder Tsunami, which sees him launching a blast of seismic force in a wave-like format to blow foes away. So, this time around, Kamemon will Digivolve to Marinermon, then Wavemon, and then finally Tsunamimon. At least green is my second favorite color, so I can let the sacrilegious recolor pass. My girl Tanya is back and better than ever, even with her Zeo powers vanishing. The yellow Zeo Ranger is no more, so Zordon provides her with the yellow Turbo Digimorpher. This lets Tanya become the yellow Turbo Ranger. Yellow has never looked this good. What does this mean, though, for Tanya's loyal partner? Like her predecessors, Tanya's partner Musimon gets to remain in his rookie form. Using the new turbo powers, Musimon will Digivolve to Kenkimon. Another solid armor evo, but this time not needing any recoloring. I really want to see this Mon appear in more media, specifically a game, so I could use him, but I think that'd be really cool. But the next game is supposed to be based around like the Olympus 12, which is like Greek mythology, so I don't know like where the actual setting's gonna be. So we'll have to see where they end up. But I digress. As before, Tanya has a new power source to discover, which obviously ends up being the yellow turbo keycard. Activating her hidden power, Tanya helps Kenkimon Digivolve to Plowmon. Finally, we get to recolor someone. This time, Frozomon. I decided to kind of continue with a construction-ish theme for her, but watch out for his power plow attack, which sees him burying the enemy. Burying? They be covered in sand, gravel, or snow. We did evolve once more, this time to Dunemon. Our last evolution is a recolor of Raidenmon, which in my opinion really does look like a Frozomon Evo, so I like the visual cohesion there. His special attack, Dune Star Sand Cannon, is a barrage of missiles filled with hot sand to burn the enemies he faces. So, Musimon will first become Kenkimon, then Plowmon, and lastly Dunemon. Tanya is just so cool, y'all. I will forever love Tanya. But now, on to our favorite color. Well, at least mine, obviously. Again, no more Zeo Digimorpher for Cat. With the pink Zeo Ranger no longer having her powers, Zordon, of course, provides her with a pink Turbo Digimorpher. Whoa! A pink Turbo Digimorpher is what I was trying to say. Obviously, this lets her morph into the pink Turbo Ranger. Again, such a solid design. Okay, I have to say, and I'm going to talk about the movie here shortly, but the scene where she falls off the cliff at the beginning of the Turbo movie, and she grabs her morpher mid-air and does the Zeo Ranger 1 pink thing and like morphs as she hits the water and it demorphs her from the pressure, is one of the coolest shots in Power Ranger history. Like, I don't care if you hate the Turbo movie. You're lying if you're saying that's not a cool shot. And we got it from a girl character, which is just, I love it. And the Pink Ranger at that. And like, it was just, oh my God. I absolutely love that movie. I'm gonna watch that later, actually. I think I really need to rewatch it so I can eat my words. Anyways. Of course, we have to look at her partner. Again, Avimon, our recolor of Falcomon, will not need a new rookie form, but the rest of her Evos are a different story. Avimon will Digivolve to Jet Avimon. This recolor of Raptor Sparrowmon, a recent repeat Digimon in my arsenal lately, I envisioned to be much larger in size, which would allow Cat to, of course, ride on the back of this huge bird. Her special attack, where she slams into an enemy at high speeds, is called Jet Crash. Now, Cat's story doesn't end here. During their journey, Cat will eventually discover the Pink Turbo Keycard. Using this new power, Jet Avimon will Digivolve to Metal Avimon. Yeah, we're going with a title-based name. This recolor of Male Birdramon has been leveled up to be Cat's ultimate level partner. Windfire Cannon is Metal Avimon's special attack, where she blasts a ball of hot wind at the enemy. She will Digivolve once more, though, to War Avimon. Our last recolor for this line is of Agistramon or Agistramon or I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's pretty badass either way. So, yeah, I recolored Agistramon, but now pink. This fierce mon uses a special attack where she blasts an immensely powerful beam of energy from her cannons called Wind Chaser Breaker. Our Pink Ranger's partner is an Avimon who digivolves to Jet Avimon, then Metal Avimon, and lastly War Avimon. But it's time for some new faces. Our story last saw Rocky playing the role of the Blue Zeo Ranger, but the Zeo Rangers are abandoned for something new. At the beginning of the Turbo movie, again, an underrated gem in my own opinion, but whatever. There's apparently haters. I don't know. Anyways, Rocky is participating in a martial arts tournament where he's critically injured. After a certain someone accidentally witnesses the Rangers teleport out of the hospital room, Rocky decides to send this individual in his place to help the Rangers. It is then revealed to the Rangers that their new team member is Justin. That's right, Rocky, in all his wisdom, decides a genius, albeit a preteen, is the best person to replace him as a ranger. You know, the job where he's constantly in mortal danger and regularly getting tossed around like a rag doll by villains and monsters, where they almost die on a weekly basis. Interesting choice coming from the nearly adult Rocky. Anyways, Justin is able to use the Blue Turbo Digimorpher to become the Blue Turbo Power Ranger. Now, as an adult, I am critical of this storyline, but as a kid, I loved it. Like, for real, it was like a self-insert for me. Also, as an adult, the actor who played Justin, Blake I think his name is, grew up to be so damn fine. And it's not even fair. And I've met him in person at a convention. That's not the point here, okay? Okay, his partner. So, Justin is introduced to his very own Digimon, Bloxmon. This recolor of Toy Agumon was picked to represent Justin's childishness, which is on full display throughout the series, but I kind of envision Bloxmon having a more reserved and mature personality. Maybe like a Giles from Buffy's sort, which would make this hilarious in my eyes. His special attack, Brick Bullets, would see him rapidly firing off random bricks while spinning his body. As things progress, though, Bloxmon will digivolve to Omekamon. Like others before, I do imagine this mon to be a touch bigger to work as a sort of exosuit or operatable mech to continue our vehicle-ish themes. Also, it's still a toy, which is cool. Now, Justin will have to find his true power just like the others. He will eventually find, through his journeys, the Blue Turbo Keycard. So, with that power in hand, Omekamon will digivolve to Toy Tyrannomon. That's right, I have recolored X-Tyrannomon to continue our toy theme. He uses a powerful attack called Toy Town Takedown, where he releases various automated toys from within his body that attack the enemies. Toy Tyrannomon will digivolve to Marionettemon. I recolored yet another toy, Pinocchiomon, to create this great toy-themed mega level for Justin. I just love the idea of a usually goofy and silly mon being given a much more serious and mature personality. Also, again, I'm imagining a stuffy old British librarian here. So just very, very opposite of what Pinocchiomon has been presented to us in the past, and I think that'd be fun. He wraps his enemies up in its strings and then whacks them with his hammer in a move he calls String Tangle. Ooh, Brain Blast idea, especially if I'm keeping him, like, his personality is, like, more intellectual. It could also be called String Theory, which is, like, that's just a cool name. It's String Theory. I've decided this now in the moment. Either way, though. Either one works. So, our first new team member is given a Bloxmon, who digivolves to Omekamon, then Toy Tyrannomon, then Marionettemon. Now, this guy right here is one I briefly considered not doing a line for, but at the end of the day, why not? So let's look at this. Now, who could this mighty protector be partnered with? Policedramon. Oh yes, there is a theme, y'all. This recolor of Commandramon not only took forever, but was meant to invoke sirens on a squad car. And yes, this will carry through the whole line, so stay with me. His special attack, Riot Control, sees him firing a flurry of rubber bullets at an enemy. He will digivolve first to High Policedramon. Easy choice to recolor. High Commandramon, but either way, I still love this design. His special attack where he launches a flash grenade into the crowd is called Blinding Justice. Now, I could give him a Digivice like the others, but I didn't want to. I shan't. Instead, we will just say he uses his Centurion Synergizer to power up his partner. So in using the Centurion Synergizer, High Polystramon will digivolve to Lieutenant Polystramon, continuing our very not subtle recoloring, this time of Assaultmon. We see a more Centaurian-like stature emerge, which is on purpose, I promise. Also, in the naming convention, it's Lieutenant Polystramon, but it's LT-Polystramon. So A, it's not crazy to type out, and B, it's kind of reminiscent of High Polystramon. At least that's, in my head. Anyways, his special attack is a spray of bullets from his many weapons called Armory Deployment. It will all come together, though, when Lieutenant Polystramon digivolves to Chief Polystramon. This mon is a recolor of Sleepmon. Anyways, which brings our centaur-like posture to the forefront. Now, there are several options you may prefer here, but I always try to go outside the box where possible, so here we are. Chief Polystramon's special attack is called Siren Beam, where a red and white beam of light energy is blasted at the enemy from his crossbow. So, the Blue Centurion is partnered with a Polystramon that digivolves to High Polystramon, then Lieutenant Polystramon, and lastly Chief Polystramon. Okay, enough with that theme already, jeez. Now, eventually as our story progresses, it's finally recognized that the teenagers with attitude are more and more becoming adults with heavy trauma. So, it's time for our heroes to pass the torch. Let's meet our new Rangers. Tommy is saved by two random strangers with immense courage and realizes that one of them is the perfect person to take lead of the Turbo Rangers. Who is this selfless man? That would be TJ. This wall of muscle is toted amongst the most noble of Red Rangers, as his unwavering kindness and loyalty makes him an elite leader to this team. Also, the man loved a skin-tight turtleneck. Don't worry, I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. Through this and the next series, he stayed, especially in next season, his turtleneck they're insane, but I digress. TJ, along with his new Red Turbo Digimorpher, is able to become the Red Turbo Ranger. He is, of course, quickly introduced to his new partner, who I imagine he met while helping Tommy and Kat. This partner is Sprintmon. This recolor of the Appmon Racemon is a great call to the racing themes of this season. Sprintmon can activate the jets on his boots to dash at an enemy, an attack he calls Turbo Dash. Sprintmon will digivolve to Liftmon, going in a slightly different direction. This recolor of Mechanorimon works as another kind of pilotable mech for our Red Ranger. It's especially viable if you remember the reboot of Digimon Adventure where they ride Mechanorimons across the world. But anyways, its special attack, Lift Lock, sees it wrapping its mechanical arms around an enemy, lifting them high into the air before slamming them back down to the earth in a quick, aggressive motion. Now, obviously, our new Rangers will already have access to their keycards being this late in the season, so TJ will harness the Red Turbo keycard. This allows Liftmon to digivolve to Marathonmon. A crimson recolor of Andromon, we take the robotic theme one step forward, to go full android. I added hints of blue to help hint at a later development, but more on that another day. He propels forward using jets on his feet to tackle an enemy while covered in electricity in a move he calls Lightning Lunge. Marathonmon will digivolve once more, though, to become High Marathonmon. An obvious choice was made to recolor High Andromon, but it worked really well, so I'm not mad about how easy it was. High Marathonmon, in an attack he calls Turbo Lightning, is able to throw a blade made of pure electricity as his opponent. Our new Fearless Leader is partnered with a Sprintmon, who digivolves to Liftmon, then Marathonmon, and lastly, High Marathonmon. There are a lot of folks in this season. Speaking of which, Adam becomes a sort of mentor to a kid on the soccer team he coaches, and during a disaster, this athlete shows just how dependable and brave he is. That's why Adam passes his powers on to Carlos. I blame this season heavily for my bisexuality, but I digress, as much as I've digressed to this video. Anyways, Carlos With the green Turbo Digimorpher in hand, is able to become the Green Turbo Ranger. While helping get people to safety, though, Carlos comes across a small motorized Digimon stuck under the rubble. He helps him get free and forms a bond with the little Digimon, who turns out to be Launchmon. This redesign of Junkmon was chosen to both call to Carlos' interests in soccer, but also start a theme of launching in cannons. His special attack, Turbo Throw-In, launches a flaming soccer ball at his target with deadly precision. This theme of cannons is continued as Launchmon digivolves to Launchermon. This recolor of Tankmon needs no introduction, as the small cannon becomes a full-blown tank. Its special move is where it launches an earth-shaking cannonball at the enemy called Turbo Launcher. Now again, Carlos already wields the green Turbo Digicard. The Turbo Key card. Anyways, Launchermon, with this card, is able to digivolve to Metal Launchermon. This recolor now of Tankdramon is carrying us to cannon perfection, but I didn't keep it super cut and dry from here. It fires several bolts of lightning from the various cannons on its body in a move called Desert Thunder Cannon. Metal Launchermon will reach its full power as it digivolves to War Launchermon, our last recolor for a bit, and it is of Machine Draymon, or Machine Drummon. Machine Drummon. A mod whose name I will never get down properly thanks to the American versions of their video games. I wanted to maintain the canon themes but take a different direction, and this just felt right to me. Also, yes, I have recently become a fan of using like metal, war, high, mecha, like all of those terminologies just placed in front of it. Even though as a Digimon fan, I kind of used to hate it, I respect it now as someone who's creating content for it. Anyways, his special attack is called Giga Launcher, and it sees him launching living missiles from the hatch on his chest. So, Carlos befriends a Launchmon who becomes a Launchermon, then Metal Launchermon, and lastly War Launchermon. Damn, Tanya looks mad as hell here. I love it. Anyways, like Adam, Tanya befriends another team who later helps them get people to safety and fend off piranha drones. This teen happens to be Ashley! I'm not saying when I say this team is probably my favorite cast ever. This bubbly and kind girl is a cheerleader and fashion student who puts the needs of others before herself. My favorite thing about Ashley, and I don't know if anyone else ever picked up on this, but she's often seen with like cute nails or acrylics, and so a lot of her unmorphed fighting is like open palm slaps and throws, and it's just such a fun character choice that I adore. Not many rangers backhand their enemies, so mad respect on her part. Anyways, Ashley, with Morpher in hand, becomes the Yellow Turbo Power Ranger. Now, this line is going to be fairly straightforward, and one we see honestly too much on my channel, but I don't care. I love it, and yeah. Like Carlos, Ashley helps and befriends a lost Digimon during a disaster brought on by Divatox. This little creature happens to be Fun Beemon, or Fan Beemon, depending on who you ask. This little yellow mon is it's just the best partner. And like it just gives like so much main character's partner or like main actor partner material. Like I don't even know how to describe it, but it took too long for us to get it as a partner is what I'm saying. Anyways, Fun Beemon will digivolve to Forge Beemon. I'm going with this champion for the mech route, and I do love it, but it's not my usual champion I choose for this, as you guys know. But, well, actually, I might have chosen this more. But personally, I usually don't choose it. But either way, Ashley, of course, is not brought into this blind or helpless. So, with the help of the yellow Turbo Key card, Forge Beemon will now digivolve to Cannon Beemon. Okay, now this one I almost never use, but its large Zord-like body works so well for the themes I have here, just for me to abandon them, though, as Cannon Beemon digivolves to Queen Beemon. Oh, what? You thought I wasn't going to pick her? Oh, you thought with Pimp Slap Princess Ashley I wasn't going to be picking the baddest bitch in all the land? Ah, okay, I see. You guys think I'm a fool. You guys think I'm... Anyways, I think for this to work, I see the evolution occurring as Queen Beemon kind of steps out of the Canon Beemon body. in like a cunty way, of course, obviously. So yeah, Ashley is partnered with Fun Beamon, who digivolves to Forge Beamon, then Cannon Beamon, and then Queen Beamon. The most solid family of Mons, I swear. Now, it's been too long since I've recolored a Digimon. Onward! Kat is stranded with Tommy when they are nearly killed by Divatox's forces. The pair are saved by two courageous strangers, one of which we already met. The other happens to be Cassie motherfucking Chan! Okay, I claim a lot of Rangers as one of my favorites and one I love or one that inspires me, but I genuinely mean it when I say Cassie is my all-time favorite Power Ranger. There's no competition in my eyes. Fight about it. I don't care. Actually, don't fight about it because that's crazy. It's a kid show from the 90s. But like genuinely, she is my favorite. Everything about her is so fun. She's cool. She has some of the best Unmorph fights in all of the entire series. And again, don't fight me on this, but fight me on this. I don't care. I love Cassie Chan. Her like rocker punk chick. Oh, and that's... Oh, I love it. Okay. Anyways, Cassie has the honor of possessing the Pink Turbo Digimorpher, which obviously lets her become the Pink Turbo Power Ranger. During the scuffle to save Tommy and Kat, she comes across an injured Digimon who she brings along with her to protect and care for. This Mon, becoming her partner, ends up being Herdmon. This recolor of Angoramon is a perfect example of me taking heavy liberties with a concept. So I'm playing on the idea similar to Terriermon, where could this be a rabbit or a dog? Terriermon's a dog, obviously, but its twin, Lotmon, is a rabbit. You get my drift. Anyways, his special attack is called Herding Spin, where he spins the large ears on his head, slamming into his enemies as he hovers above the ground. Herdmon will digivolve to Shepherdmon. Our vehicle-like puppy is an obvious recolor of Commandomon, which is a Digimon I fell in love with hard after the Adventure reboot, but it again let me keep a vehicle-ish theme for our team. In an attack he calls Cattle Wrangle, this Mon dashes around the enemy, hurting them into place before hitting them with debris and other things from the ground. Cassie, my beautiful queen, has a power that knows no bounds, so, using the Pink Turbo key card, her dependable partner Shepherdmon can digivolve to Hounddogmon. Downsizing to a recolored variant of Lamortmon, I wanted her partner to maintain a more bestial nature to contrast her teammates. So I still envision this Mon being big enough for Cassie to ride on its back. Its special attack, though, Wind Chaser Tornado, sees it spinning at lightning speeds, slashing at any and everything around it. Hounddogmon will digivolve once more to Magnadramon. This Mon needs no recoloring, as it's a perfect union of dragon, dog, wind, pink. It's also just a cool Mon that I've always liked. I didn't like it as a final Evo for Gatomon, but whatever. I think if they kept the dog things for Salamon, I would have liked Magnadramon. That's besides the point, though. So yeah, my all-time favorite Power Ranger is partnered with a Herdmon who becomes a Shepherdmon, a Hounddogmon, and a Magnadramon. So cute. Now, Cassie's influence doesn't end here. The Phantom Ranger is an occasional ally to the Rangers and even a short-lived love interest of Cassie. It makes it feel a bit weird when it was suggested that Billy was the Phantom Ranger because, like, he, at this point, was a graduated adult and Cassie was a teenager in this series. But I guess back then, no one would have batted an eye, unfortunately. Ugh. But I did decide that he himself would have the Phantom Turbo Morpher. Since we never really got an official auxiliary ranger for this season, I prefer he be one in my headcanon at least. So he is somebody. Maybe Billy, maybe somebody else. Anyways, the Phantom Ranger arrives on the scene with his trusty partner, Railsmon. This recolor of Reshiramon is such a cool little trained Digimon that uses an attack called Railroad Ram, where he stabs the enemy with his horn. I felt inspired to go with a whole train theme here, so Railsmon will digivolve to Trailsmon, a recolor of Trailmon Kettle. That probably didn't need a rename since Trailmon are already crazy in variety. But all I did was add an S. So who cares? Anyways, Trailsmon blasts the enemy with a flurry of sparks from their wheels in a move called Trailing Blaze. Now this guy, I think, would have a mini arc where Cassie helps him find the Phantom Turbo Key card. This would, of course, allow Trailsmon to digivolve to Locomon, a perfect ultimate level that needed no real changes, and that goes for his Mega as well, so Locomon will become Grand Locomon. I wanted a dedicated Locomon line, so I think this one does a decent enough job. The only one I would probably change is the Trailsmon thing, but that's I didn't want to put too much effort into it personally. But yeah, so the Phantom Ranger will be assisted by a Railsmon that digivolves to Trailsmon, then Locomon, and then lastly Grand Locomon. Damn, there's so many people in this season. So there you have it, folks. This was our foray into a Power Rangers Turbo and Digimon crossover. I'm planning to tackle In Space next, so stay tuned, as well as Alien Rangers. I haven't written the script or done the presentation yet, but I do have them picked. Secondly, I also already announced this online, but our next non-Power Ranger video is going to be about, drumroll please, hubba dubba dubba dubba. I don't know what kind of drum that is. Hubba dubba 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 dubba. Totally Spies. It's a really niche decision for me to make. Not a lot of people, like, I don't know a lot of people that are super into Totally Spies, but I fucking love Totally Spies. As a kid, I was obsessed with it. I was obsessed with anything spies, like Spy Kids, Totally Spies, stuff like that, and because I love the gadgets. But yeah, no, I 110% am so excited for this one. Even if only 10 people watch that video, I don't care. I have everything but the script done for that, so I am planning to hopefully record that like this week. But yeah. Anyways, as always, if you like my content or this video in particular, please subscribe, like, and or comment. Also, feel free to check out my TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter, which are all linked below. Beneath that, you'll find a link invite to our Discord channel, so feel free to hop in and join the 282. Thanks again, though, for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Look at all this movement. All this movement for Cassie Chan! I love her.